In history, counting our steps, walking in history, fun and learning for all.
Okay, this is Morvana Marazion. Looks like a little gift shop. And then there's Keepsafes, which looks like a little gift shop. Beautiful, quaint, that's beautiful. St Michael's House. It's interesting. This is really traditional seaside here, Colonel. You've got your buckets and spades, your buckets, your cards, your frisbees, kites, very fridge magnets, yeah, exactly. Very seaside. Even tea towels. That's a great price, isn't it? £2 for a tea towel. That's absolutely fantastic. But Colonel, do you remember when we was down at Port Isaac?
Yeah.
And I set you a challenge. You had to go and find out what the favourite ice cream was.
Yeah.
You got that wrong, didn't you? Because you only had the second one that you got given. It was vanilla, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's go and find out in there what the top seller is here. What do we think it might be, viewers? Let's go and find out. Let's set the Colonel in. Colonel, can you go in and find out what the top selling item is in the shop, please? Okay, viewers, we sent the Colonel in to find out from the lady in the shop what the top selling item was. Now, I think it might have been these buckets and spades. Am I right, Colonel?
You could be right, you could be wrong.
We could be right, we could be wrong. So basically, you're not going to tell me what the top selling item is, Colonel?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. So it was these buckets over here, Colonel, right? These? No? No?
The badges.
Badges?
The badges.
Oh, wow.
Fridge magnets.
Oh, look at these badges, viewers. These are phenomenal. Look at those.
There's
Got
the
the
Cornish one down the bottom.
Yeah, look at the one of Cornwall there, Colonel.
Yes, top seller, best seller.
Bestseller.
Yep.
Best-selling item in this shop
Yep.
is the Cornish badges.
Yep.
There you go, viewers. If you come to Keepsakes Gifts Cornish ice cream shop here in Marazion, their top seller are their badges. And I've heard that the ice cream's really good as well. Colonel, the gentleman said to me, is he a famous YouTuber? And I said, not yet, but I'll leave that to the viewers. Will I be a famous YouTuber, viewers? But you never know. So we can see we're walking down towards the Godolphin. Oh, okay. The Colonel spotted something here. Colonel.
Yep.
You know the lady was speaking to up the road before we went into the shop?
Yep.
The lady mentioned this, didn't she?
She did.
She said about the charter.
Yep.
It says there quite clearly, doesn't it? It says that it was incorporation was granted in 1257 by Henry the Third.
Yep.
And the second in 1595 by Elizabeth the First.
Yep.
The name Marazion, with many variations in the spelling, comes from the Cornish Morganus vowel Thursday market. Wow. There you go, viewers. Marazion, the originality of the name, comes from the Thursday market.
Yep.
That's fantastic. As I said, viewers, you come back to this channel, you always learn something. This looks absolutely fantastic, viewers. Check that out. Whoa. There you go, viewers. St Michael's Mount and the Causeway. That looks absolutely phenomenal. We are going to go and walk across that causeway. We're going to show you, viewers, the beauty of this county and the beauty of this town, Marazion. That means Thursday market. Right, we think to get to the causeway, let me go down here. Do you remember Colonel got us lost when we first went out shooting? 9 miles we walked, viewers. 9 miles.
Well, good exercise, keep your fit.
That's what the Colonel said. He said it's down to training to see if we could make it for walking in history in the future. And we survived that.
Yep.
So maybe we're going to survive this. And we can walk across the causeway. We are so fortunate for this. Dog walkers, good evening, Mum. How are you? Dog walkers enjoying this causeway. And here's the causeway. This is absolutely fantastic. This is absolutely amazing.
Welcome viewers, you join us as we walk the causeway to St. Michael's Mount, here in the southwest of England. As we walk this causeway you will learn the history of St. Michael's Mount, one step at a time.
Careful, don't slip.
But we don't fall in the hole. Do you want a ladder, Colonel? As you can see, viewers, we are walking towards St. Michael's Mount. It's very busy here, viewers. There are lots of tourists about, lots of photographers.
The causeway to St. Michael's Mount is about a 15-minute walk and it's approximately a quarter of a mile long. Visitors can only walk at low tide. At high tide, it is submerged and visitors must take a boat to cross. The causeway is open to pedestrians for roughly 4 hours each day, depending on the tide times. The walk takes about 15 minutes to complete. The causeway is submerged at high tide, so you can only walk across it for about 4 hours each day when the tide is low. At high tide, a boat is available to take you to the mount with the crossing, taking about 5 minutes.
Make sure you got a good pair of boots or a good pair of trainers. You don't want to be walking on this in the high heels or anything. That can be quite dangerous. So make sure that you're prepared for when you come down here.
No flip-flop.
You know, no Crocs and socks and no flip-flops, viewers, no. Absolutely not. Another dog down there, mate. You alright? Very busy here for crowds, viewers. Very, very busy. Bit slidey here, viewers. Be careful here.
St. Michael's Mount is an inhabited island with a history stretching back to around 4,000 years ago, when archaeological digs uncovered roundhouses from that period. The medieval castle and church on the mount were first built in the 12th century, construction beginning in 1135. Archaeological evidence indicates people have been living on the mount for about 4,000 years. The island has been a site of religious importance and was granted to the Benedictine Priory of St. Michael in Normandy. It has been home to the St. Aubin family since the mid-1600s. St. Michael's Mount has a history spanning from prehistoric times as a trading center to its modern role as a family home. Managing partnership with the National Trust, it was likely the Iron Age island of Ichthys used for tin exports, and later became a pilgrimage destination, with a monastery established by the monks of Mount St. Michael, in Normandy, throughout the Middle Ages. The mount was fortified in the 12th century, and used as a garrison during wars with France. It was besieged multiple times, including in the late 15th century, before being sold to the St. Aubin family in 1659, who still live there today. Evidence of Bronze and Iron Age occupation has been found. It is believed to be the legendary island of Ichthys from which Phoenician and Greek merchants exported Cornish tin. The island was granted to the Benedictine monastery of Mount St. Michael in Normandy in the late 11th century, and a priory was built there. It became a major destination for pilgrims with the harbour and amenities developed to support them.
Cornish, as they say, Colonel, yeah? As we say down here in my hands, yeah? Yes, yes, very true, Colonel. People can be quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Particular.
Hey Flo, do you like my new narration voice? It's me, Tech, and if you want to know how I can change my voice, I'm a voice changer. So here's my new narration voice for the Walking in History content update. I am ready to serve the viewers and subscribers with my trusted team with their step stories and drones from ground to sky, one step at a time.
We look forward to learning and hearing your stories, Tech, in support of the team as they travel England, bringing the viewers their style of history from ground to sky.
Hey?
Let me tell you, viewers, about the legend of St. Michael's Mount, Cornwall's island, fortress that rising from the tides off Cornwall's coast. St. Michael's Mount has stood for over 1,000 years as a symbol of faith, power, and rebellion. Long before its castle crowned the rock, monks from Mont Saint-Michel are said to have built a small monastery here. Pilgrims once crossed the causeway at low tide, drawn by stories of visions of St. Michael himself, the warrior archangel who guards the mount. But this sacred site didn't stay peaceful for long. Knights, kings, and rebels all fought for control. Sir Henry de la Pomeroy stormed the mount on behalf of Prince John, seizing it with brutal force. Later came sieges, betrayals, and a bloody civil war. The mount has seen them all. John de Vere, the Earl of Oxford, once held it under siege for nearly half a year against thousands of royal troops. Perkin Warbeck, the infamous pretender to the throne, made it his stronghold. Even during the Prayer Book Rebellion, it became a fortress for Cornish defiance. Eventually, the St. Alban family took ownership, turning the mount into their home, a legacy that continues to this day. By the 18th century, the mount was a bustling seaport, its harbor alive with fishermen and traders. But nature had other plans. When the Lisbon earthquake struck Europe, the Cornish coast was hit by a sudden and violent tsunami, waves rising and falling for hours as the sea roared around the island. The centuries that followed turned the mount from fortress to romantic relic. Artists painted it. Writers dreamed of it. Hidden in its chapel, the remains of an ancient hermit were discovered, a final echo of its monastic past. Through 2 world wars, the mount stood watch again. Pillboxes were built, guns mounted, the rock once more ready for invasion. And after all the battles, storms, and centuries, St. Michael's Mount entered a new era, gifted to the National Trust by the St. Alban family, yet still lived in and cared for by their descendants. Today, it remains one of Cornwall's most iconic landmarks, part legend, part fortress, part family home, forever rising from the sea, where history meets the tide. My final story is titled The Guardians of the Mount 1,000 Years of Power and Faith. If you enjoy storytelling history and you want to hear more, then subscribe, share. Give this video a thumbs up. This helps us out a lot, and this is your way of supporting our content creation. Let's begin. For centuries, St. Michael's Mount has watched over the Cornish coast, a fortress of faith, a jewel of the sea, and a prize fought for by kings, priests, and nobles alike. But behind its walls lies a lineage of guardians, men of God, men of power, and families whose names are etched deep into its stone. It began in the age of the Priors, when monks ruled the mount under the distant shadow of Mont Saint-Michel in Normandy. There was Fra Richard Le Scrope, one of the earliest keepers of the mount's sacred order. Then came Dom Ralph de Vier, followed by Dom Ralph de Carteret, each tending the chapel that rose above the tides, each carrying the ancient duty of worship and stewardship. Under Bishop Walter Branscombe, Dom Richard de Pereyres was appointed to lead. After him came Dom Geoffrey de Hainaut, his years marked by devotion and resilience in an era of unrest. When Bishop John Grandison made his visitation, the mount was under the care of Dom Peter de Caerway, a man known for both learning and leadership. He was succeeded by Dom Nicholas d'Isabel, and then by Dom John Hardy, who would later stand trial in Launceston after his time as prior came to a turbulent end. Others followed, Dom John de Voland, then Dom Richard de Hedepath, whose brass seal, a rare survivor of the medieval priory, still bears his name. In the century that followed came Dom William Lambert, the last prior before the winds of change swept through England. By the time Richard Arscott served as archpriest, the world around the mount was shifting. The great monasteries fell. The Reformation had begun. Sion Monastery, once the mount's mother house, was dissolved, and St. Michael's Mount was seized by the crown. From the church, it passed into royal hands. King James granted it to Robert Cecil, the first Earl of Salisbury, one of the most powerful men in England, chief advisor to the throne. His son, William Cecil, the second Earl, later received the mount by fee from Sir Francis Bassett. And in time, the Bassett family sold it to a new dynasty, the St. Albans. The St. Albans would shape the mount's destiny for centuries to come, transforming the fortress of faith into a home, their legacy still living on through the Lord St. Leven, who remain its keepers to this very day.
Vehicle coming as well.
Do you want a hand?
No, they haven't even told us they're coming, so as far as I'm concerned, they can sort themselves out.
Don't click away yet, stay on the path with us. We've got exclusive bonus footage coming up as a thank you for joining us on this journey. You've walked with us, explored history step by step through our drones, stories, and steps from ground to sky. Now here's something special just for you.
And all the staff here are absolutely lovely, absolutely lovely. So come down and check it out. And say hello to the staff. Tell them that Walking in History sent you.
There you go, viewers. There's our final shot of the day. St Michael's Mount. We walked across from MARAZION across the causeway, and we was very, very fortunate that the tide was out, so we're really, really, really enjoying this. So all we're going to do now is let you know our favourite parts. So my favourite part was going into the fudge shop and all those lovely flavours of fudge that they had in the shop. Absolutely fantastic. If you're down here on holiday or you visit, go and check out the fudge shop. DP, what was your favourite?
My favourite part has to be the memorial. Okay,
DP.
With all the names going down there.
Yeah, absolutely. And the little bit of information where it said that MARAZION means Thursday market.
Yes, maybe one of the viewers could let us know if it actually still happens.
Yeah, comments below, viewers. Do they still have a Thursday market in MARAZION? Comments below. What about you, Colonel? What was your favourite?
Walking the causeway up to St Michael's Mount.
Walking the causeway up to St Michael's Mount. Absolutely fantastic.
My favourite at the moment has been walking up to St Michael's Mount.
Walking in history, step by step. Walking in history.